and welcome to this week's show, where we are about to get our feet wet because we're going underwater and it's a sequel to a 1975 classic. This week we are looking at Jaws 2. Why Jaws 2? Well, because it's not the sort of picture that people tend to associate with stunts, and yet there are a bunch of them in the picture, obviously water-based, around the attack by the shark, which we will now have a look at. And some interesting stuff going on here. Hope you enjoy it. Catch you on the other side. Right, Jaws 2, and in order for us to have a look at Jaws 2, we're going to have to touch on, as I mentioned earlier, a little bit of the original picture. But this is the main, this is the thing that sold it to the audience and appears on the poster. And it is the opening skiing sequence, water skiing behind the boat. There is Bruce, our shark. And of course, it's just fin and tail in these some longer shots, bobbing up and down. This scene really written into the movie primarily because they couldn't get anything else to work. The shark wasn't working. These are just fins at this point here. And it wasn't possible for anything to happen. At the steering wheel is JEAN COULTER, stuntwoman JEAN COULTER. And our skier is Christine Freeman, who is a champion skier and was selected for this job because of a skiing job that she did on a movie called Freaky Friday, which was out a few years prior to this. So the shark now makes a beeline for Christine, and they're travelling pretty swiftly there, I must admit, 25, 30 miles an hour maybe in certain places. Ever closer, ever closer. It's just inevitable now. They're presumably thinking it's a seal or something, and crunch, and she's got to fly off that at speed and then gets pulled down with the shots. Valerie Taylor, the Taylors, Ron and Valerie Taylor, putting those shots together, of course, from Australia. I think they had some footage from the previous movie. Jean then leans over and thinks, Jesus, what did that, bitten through. And she was 6 months on this picture, which is a long time. Now here is a great shot, and that's how they did it. Cameraman perched on the back of Bruce to get that perspective shot. Bang! Into the side there, and over she goes. And now this is being rigged so it can be gimbaled effectively in the water and being moved from side to side and rocked about, giving the impression that the shark is attacking. She picks this up. I think primarily the purpose is that she is going to throw it and then says, no, I'm going to fire it. Of course, hits the flare and it all goes up. These are some photographs that Jean had provided for us, and you can see that this is quite a big fire. It's quite a lot of editing going on here. They've cut this down considerably. It's a partial body burn, but she's no protective clothing on. She's got Nomax gel. She's got some gel on, and she'd been testing that gel at Universal Studios to see. But look at the damage it's done, and it's gone. There's a racing suit underneath, but that's as good as it gets. And then, of course, the Bruce gets on fire. She's on fire, and then it's edited for the final explosion. One of the other sequences which Ted Grossman, the stunt coordinator, works on is this one. And again, shark attacks the boat, pushes one boat out of the way, and that is being dragged on a hydraulic system underneath the water, dragging that away. And your man is now thinking, well, how the hell am I going to go? Right, so he's got to start swimming. And the shark keeps pushing that boat further and further out. Actress in the boat, okay? Not a stunt woman in the boat, it's an actress in the boat. Now the actor starts to swim. Then that's the rubber shark. And it's only 30 feet deep, so they can place it underneath. It's on the bottom, and the shark passes underneath. And now it's got hold of him. Down he goes, and now Ted will take over for some of the further action, because he's going to be pushed forwards towards the boat. Here, he's being shoved forwards. So that's Ted on effectively a bucket seat, sat there, and bang, lands on the side of the boat. Then the actor, of course, takes over. It's brutal. It's very, very brutal. It looks brutal. It's supposed to be. It's a shark attack. You know, it's not supposed to be. And down he goes, and blood in the water. But again, in order to understand this, we have to see how it originated. This is Susan Baccalini, who, of course, was Chrissy in the first movie. And when she is attacked by the shark for the very first time, it's all ropes and pulleys. Boom, down she goes. That's the first tug, and that's a rope pull. And at the bottom, right underneath her, is a weight. And from that weight, going in two directions, are ropes. And they're going from one point to another, right out, and then they go all the way back to the beach, where guys are running up and down the beach, causing her to be dragged back and forth and back and forth. And this is some of the harness work that she's got on, and the rope system will pass through this, and she can be moved back and forth in the water, giving the impression that she's being attacked. And it's incredibly violent, and you don't see the shark. That's the key to the whole thing. And at any point, if she was feeling freaky about anything at all, she could just pull one of those ropes and she'd be free. And she could swim quite happily to shore. And of course, it comes towards camera and screaming, and then finally bang under the water, where a diver drops a mouthpiece into her mouth so she can breathe. Ted Grossman here in the acting role, of course. He is the guy in the estuary who is the victim, gets thrown into the water without shoes on, incidentally. That'll play a part later on. And then bang, down he goes. And then there's another edit there where he gets chomped. And there's his leg, which has a shoe on it. He wasn't wearing shoes when he went in the water. But that's the type of stuff that they did on this picture. And it's stood the test of time. It's magnificent. Well, there we go. That's it for this week. And I hope you enjoyed that look at a deep dive, if you will, into the world of shark stunts and Jaws 2. More of the same next week. Not underwater, very much on dry land, in fact, next time around, when we go back to 1974 and a movie starring Edward Woodward. I'll let you ponder over that one, and we'll see you next week for more of the same. Take care. Bye for now.